Just describe him in a short way. What's Ken like?
Oh God, I don't know. This is probably the toughest question. I've been working with Ken for almost 18 years now. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure him out in some ways.
He's one of the key players in all three of the sports from day one, if that's windsurfing, kiting, or now winging.
Ken, you're 7-time world champion. Is competition
Nowhere else in the world but Maui can you live like 200 yards from somebody who's basically inventing and innovating equipment the rest of the world.
Yeah, when I was a kid, that's what I did for fun. So I'd build stuff in the garage. Toys. I could build whatever I put my mind to. I mean, I'm a toy designer, basically.
Ken's a very focused individual. Like when he goes to the beach and we're testing kites on the beach, he's totally focused on work. He's not at the beach to hang out and bullshit with people and do small talk. He's there to do a job and get a result and push whatever product forward that he's working on.
When you first meet Ken, you don't always know what to make of him. Someone who's honest, straight shooter. He has a singular focus and concentration on what he does that most people lack. And Matt really is part of his success, that he will push through the hard parts to get where he wants to go. And that's why he is an innovator, because it's not just having the ideas and not just having the capability, but also having the strength of personality to pursue it and to really push through it, even if it's not the popular thing to do on the day.
Involved with sailboard design since the early days of the sport, Ken recognizes the importance of prototype development.
The newest boards are light years ahead of the first boards we started on in ease of sailing and speed, and in many respects. They're much more sophisticated, much faster. Much more fun to sail, and the recreational board sailor eventually finds out about this.
It always seemed like Ken was kind of leading the charge on development, and I would say naturally he'd be somebody that would push the envelope of wing design pretty quick, coming from the kite racing background that he was doing and the windsurfing background that he had. All of that where it was kind of ingrained in, every session to be experimenting. Go back to his house, modify a wing, add a batten, take a batten away, use a boom, don't use a boom.
Development, it's the last 0.5%, that's the hard part. Getting to 99% is easy, and then you spend 50%, 80% of your time getting that last 0.5% right. And I think that's where Ken has the ability to do that, and a lot of people fall short.
Ken has basically given credit to Flash as being the first guy that he saw put all the puzzle pieces together with a subfoil board, homemade hand wing, and basically going out and winging.
And so that was a key development in the sport, and I give Flash all credit for doing that. But then when I saw that, I thought, well, why don't we try that with an inflatable handheld wing? So I immediately went home, designed an inflatable handheld wing.
Ken actually had worked on an inflatable windsurf rig like years prior, like maybe in 2009 or 2010, I forget what year he did it. But he still had this design for a handheld, basically windsurf sail wing. It looked a lot like what we're using these days with an inflatable structure.
I mean, invention usually consists of taking something that exists and making it a little bit different so that it works in a little bit different way for maybe a different person or in a different environment. I mean, people have been doing it forever. People were doing this with skates and skis. In windsurfing, we had wings in the 80s. It's just an extension of a trend that's been going on for decades, if not more.
It's funny how this collective effort of people kind of tends to snowball and turn into something.
That was June of 2018 that I tried my first wing, and I was able to just get on the board and go immediately. And so I thought, well, A, it's pretty easy to use, and B, it's not very expensive. And I immediately sent Sky to a dealer meeting in Spain with a prototype wing.
And I basically went and I winged and I showed people what was possible.
And nobody paid any attention.
And it was like crickets.
Then in August, I took a wing to the gorge. Nobody paid any attention. So finally in November of that year, I got our CEO, Till Eberle, to try it. Took him over to Kihei, got him up with a jet ski on a hydrofoil, which he hadn't done before. He's a really good athlete. And that's when he realized, wow, this is not something that only dedicated water sports athletes can do. This is something that a lot of people can do. And that was the point at which we decided we were going to go to production.
There's the same minds that have taken windsurfing to this point, and now they're into winging. And now you have actual designers from both the kiting world and the windsurfing world coming together. Those different philosophies, it's going to explode the sport.
If you just look back at the last 3 years of the development that's happened that Ken has directly done with the Duotone wings, it started from, you know, just this tool to be able to kind of go out and stay upwind and come back, and now his wings are, you know, they're beautiful.
It's great working with Ken because he's always come up with like crazy new ideas and just trying to make the equipment better.
Foiling really brings a level of freedom and versatility to any conditions, which is great for any sport.
I mean, for a lot of people, hydrofoiling looks like magic, but then an awful lot of people can do it. And it's really compelling way to travel over the water.
Yeah, you look at where winging is now from even a year ago and you think there's just so many possibilities for where it could be 5 years in the future.
We're in the infancy of what's possible with these wings, and how fast can we go? How high can we jump? What is possible? It takes individuals like Ken Winter to develop the future.